Folks, let me tell you a story as old as time, a tale that's been passed down through generations, whispered around campfires and written on ancient scrolls. It's a story that's just as true today as it was thousands of years ago, echoing through the ages and still relevant in our modern world. It's about Joseph, a foreigner in Egypt, standing before Pharaoh, the most powerful man in the world, summoned to interpret a mystery no one else could solve. Pharaoh had a troubling dream: 7 fat cows devoured by 7 skinny cows, yet the skinny cows stayed skinny, a vision that left everyone baffled and anxious. No one could explain it, except Joseph, who listened carefully and understood what others could not. Joseph revealed the dream was a warning. 7 years of abundance would be followed by 7 years of devastating famine, a cycle of fortune and hardship. The good years would be wiped out by the bad, erasing all the gains if no action was taken. This wasn't just a nightmare, it was a forecast of crisis, a glimpse into a future that could be changed with the right choices. But Joseph didn't just interpret the dream, he offered a plan, a roadmap to survival and hope. He told Pharaoh, save during the good years, be disciplined, don't waste the blessings when they come. Store a portion of the harvest, set aside resources, and don't be tempted to use it all up. Build reserves while you can, because you never know when the hard times will arrive. This wasn't a suggestion, it was survival, a matter of life and death for everyone in the land. Joseph's plan was simple: prepare now or suffer later. The choice was clear, but it required courage and discipline. He laid out a strategy to collect and store grain during the years of plenty, making sure nothing was wasted and every bit was saved for the future. Egypt's future depended on acting before the famine arrived, on being wise enough to see beyond the present moment. The message? Don't wait for trouble to start preparing, start now while you still have the chance. Joseph's wisdom turned a warning into hope, transforming fear into a plan for survival and even prosperity. He showed that with discipline and planning, disaster could be avoided, and families, communities, and even nations could thrive. The story of Joseph is a blueprint for facing any crisis, a guide for anyone who wants to be ready for whatever comes. Prepare in the good times so you can survive the bad, and help others when they need it most. That's the lesson we all need today. Plan ahead, work together, and turn warnings into opportunities for hope and resilience. Pharaoh listened carefully to Joseph's interpretation of his troubling dreams, and decided to act on his advice, trusting Joseph's wisdom above all his other advisors. He elevated Joseph to the highest position in the land, making him second only to Pharaoh himself, and gave him authority over all of Egypt's resources. For 7 years, Egypt experienced extraordinary abundance. The Nile's floods were generous, and the fields yielded more grain than anyone could remember. Instead of letting the surplus go to waste, Joseph organized a nationwide effort to save, setting aside 20% of every harvest year after year. Granaries filled up city by city, until every storage room overflowed with grain, enough to feed millions. It was a massive, disciplined effort, requiring careful planning, teamwork, and unwavering commitment from everyone involved. Most people, caught up in the prosperity, would have spent everything, convinced the good times would never end. But Joseph remembered the warning in Pharaoh's dreams. He knew that abundance could vanish in an instant. When the famine struck, it was devastating, not just for Egypt, but for the entire region. Crops failed, and hunger spread far and wide. Panic and desperation swept through neighboring lands, except in Egypt, where calm and order prevailed. When people cried out for food, Pharaoh simply said, "Go to Joseph." He had the answer. Thanks to Joseph's foresight and planning, Egypt had food, hope, and a future, even as others struggled. While others starved, Egypt thrived. The difference was clear: preparation and discipline in the good years. Joseph's wisdom turned a looming crisis into an opportunity for survival and even prosperity. The lesson is timeless. Don't wait for the famine to start saving. Start when you have plenty. Build your reserves and emergency supplies while you can before the need arises. When the storm comes, you and your loved ones will be ready, safe, and secure. Egypt's story proves that discipline and preparation in good times protect you in the hard times that inevitably come. Don't let abundance lull you into complacency or careless habits. Save now, plan ahead, and you won't be caught off guard when challenges arise. Joseph's plan worked thousands of years ago, and the same principles work just as well today. Prepare for the famine during the feast, and you'll always have enough. That's how you build a future, one wise decision at a time, just like Joseph did. Long before banks or insurance, Joseph created the world's first emergency fund, A simple, powerful idea that changed history. He set aside a portion of the harvest, untouched, for the crisis he knew was coming. Each sack of grain was a promise that his people would not go hungry when times got tough. That grain was Egypt's insurance, its safety net, a lifeline when the world outside turned harsh and uncertain. The principle is timeless: save during plenty so you're ready for famine. It's a lesson that echoes through the ages, as true now as it was then. Life still has seasons, good and bad, times of abundance and times of need. The calendar keeps turning and change is always just around the corner. Your plenty might be a steady job, your famine could be a job loss, a big medical bill, or an unexpected expense that throws your plans off course. Emergencies aren't a matter of if, but when. They come in all shapes and sizes, and they rarely give you a warning. An emergency fund turns a crisis into an inconvenience. Instead of panic, you have a plan. Instead of debt, you have options. When your car breaks down, you pay for the repair. No panic, no debt, no sleepless nights wondering how you'll manage. Lose your job? You have a buffer. Time to breathe and regroup. To look for new opportunities without desperation. Without savings, every problem becomes a catastrophe. Even small setbacks can feel overwhelming. With an emergency fund, you have peace of mind. You can face the future with confidence, knowing you're prepared. Joseph's wisdom shows us we can prepare, take control, and protect our families from the storms of life. Build your wall of protection with cash. Every dollar saved is a brick in that wall, keeping your family safe. Don't live on the edge, one gust away from disaster. Choose peace, not fear. Choose preparation, not panic. An emergency fund is your shield, your umbrella in the storm, your safety net when life gets rough. It's not just about money, it's about security, about knowing you've done what you can to protect what matters most. You can't predict the storm, but you can prepare for it. Preparation is power, and it starts with a single step. Joseph's example is your guide. His story is a reminder that wisdom and foresight never go out of style. Start building your emergency fund today. Even small amounts add up over time, creating a cushion for tomorrow. It's the smartest move you'll ever make, for your future, your family, and your peace of mind. Today's famine isn't empty fields. It's an empty bank account when life happens. Your famine could be a layoff, a medical emergency, or a broken appliance. These events don't wait for a convenient time. Most people aren't prepared. They spend every dollar, living paycheck to paycheck. When trouble hits, they reach for credit cards and dig deeper into debt. A temporary problem becomes a long-term burden. That's why an emergency fund is essential. It's your first line of defense. It keeps surprises from becoming disasters. With savings, you handle problems with cash and move on. You don't borrow from your future to fix today. Prepare now, and you'll stand strong when the storm comes. Store up your grain during the good times. That's how you build real security. Where do you start? With your first $1,000. This is your starter emergency fund, a buffer against life's small surprises. How do you get there? Get intense. Sell things you don't need: old bikes, unused gadgets, clothes. Turn clutter into cash. Take on extra work for a short time. Deliver food, babysit, mow lawns, cut spending to the bone. No restaurants, no movies, no extras. For a few weeks, live on rice and beans. It's not forever, it's just for now. That first $1,000 is a huge psychological win. When you see it in your account, you feel hope and control. You realize you can do this. You're not a victim, you're in charge. That $1,000 is your proof. It's the first pile of grain in your storehouse. It's the beginning of your journey to financial peace. Don't wait, start today. Every dollar you save is a step toward security. You can do this. Take the first step, and the rest will follow. Your future self will thank you. Once you have your $1,000 starter fund, it's time to build a real wall of protection. The next step, save 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. Figure out your bare-bones monthly needs: food, shelter, utilities, transportation. Multiply that by 3, then by 6. That's your savings goal. If your job is stable, aim for 3 months. If not, go for 6. This fund shields you from major storms: job loss, health crisis, big repairs. It takes time, but stay focused. Keep your budget tight, keep selling, keep saving. Every extra dollar goes into this fund. The faster you build it, the sooner you can move on to bigger goals. This is your shield. Make it strong. Don't get discouraged by the size of the goal. Every bit you save is progress. Build your emergency fund fast and sleep better at night. Security is worth the effort. Where should you keep your emergency fund? Simple, in a savings or money market account. It needs to be liquid and accessible, ready when you need it. Don't invest it in stocks or mutual funds. The market can drop when you need cash most. This money isn't for growth, it's for protection. A high-yield savings account is a good option, but safety matters more than interest. Keep it separate from your regular checking account. If it's too easy to access, you might dip into it for non-emergencies. Make it a little inconvenient to use, so you pause and think before touching it. Don't risk your emergency fund. Protect it from temptation and market swings. When a real emergency hits, you'll be glad it's safe and ready. That's the whole point. Keep your shield strong and secure. What counts as an emergency? Let's be clear. An emergency is unexpected, urgent, and necessary, all three. Unexpected, you couldn't see it coming. A job loss, a burst pipe, a car accident. Not your annual tax bill or Christmas, those are predictable. Urgent, it needs immediate attention. A broken furnace in winter, a medical crisis, a leaky roof. Not a sale on a vacation or a new sofa. Necessary, it's essential for your life or well-being. Fixing your only car, paying for critical medical care, repairing storm damage. Not upgrading your kitchen or buying concert tickets. Be honest with yourself. Don't use your emergency fund for wants or deals. Protect it for true crises. If it's not all three, unexpected, urgent, and necessary, it's not an emergency. Set clear rules and stick to them. Your emergency fund is for survival, not lifestyle upgrades. Discipline keeps your storehouse full. When a real crisis hits, you'll be ready. Don't empty your fund for convenience. Guard it fiercely. That's how you protect your future. Imagine two futures. In one, you have no emergency fund. Every crisis brings panic and stress. You argue about money, lose sleep, and live in fear. In the other, you have a fully funded emergency fund. When trouble comes, you handle it calmly. You have peace, security, and control. The difference, a choice you make today. You can be like Joseph, prepare in the good times for the bad. Or you can ignore the warning and be caught unprepared. Your income, your debt, your past mistakes, they don't matter. Today is a new day. Start with your first $1,000. Sell something, cut a bill, pack your lunch. Every dollar saved is a step toward peace. Don't be discouraged by the size of the goal. Every journey starts with a single step. You can do this. You were made for more than just scraping by. You were made for peace. Build your storehouse now. Give your family the gift of security. Start today and find peace tomorrow. That's the power of preparation. The financial teachings shared on this channel are based on biblical principles and are intended for educational and spiritual guidance only. They do not constitute professional, financial, legal, or investment advice. Always seek counsel from a licensed financial advisor or qualified professional for your personal financial decisions. We encourage prayer, discernment, and wise stewardship in all matters related to money and faith.